What's up, everybody? It's the Hardy Construction. You can find us at hardyconstruction.tumblr.com, youtube.com/hardyconstruction, as well as facebook.com/the Hardy Construction with your host, Comp, and
Fuzzy Blue Kneecaps.
And today's film is
The Blackcoat's Daughter, 2015? 2016?
The Blackcoat's Daughter. I think it was made in
2015.
Right, I think it just got released, and they say it's also pushed to 2017. Who knows? It's all crazy. Anyway, The Blackcoat's Daughter, a.k.a. also known as February, the original title, is a film directed by Osgood Perkins. He sounds like a pretty expensive butler, if you know what I mean. Nah, I don't really mean anything. I just mean he sounds expensive. Anyway,
Perkins. It's a very butler name.
Two terrified girls must battle a mysterious evil force when they get left behind at their boarding school. Okay.
Is that what
break
this movie's about?
In this chilling and suspenseful horror film. So it stars Emma Roberts, Lauren Holly, Kiernan Shipka, as well as James Remar. You might know him as Harry from Dexter. So
he's in a lot of shit.
He's
that
great.
We've seen.
And his best role was as Raiden in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Was that the name of that one?
Right.
Or was I keep forgetting the name of that? The subtitle of that horrible movie.
It's Annihilation. Yeah.
Ugh. Jeez. Anyway, so the reason why I picked this film is because I remember seeing the trailer for it a while back. I don't know how I saw the trailer. I might have seen it on some horror news website. And it has Emma Roberts, right? And she's the one who famously...
She's the one that beats Evan
Peters. Yeah. She's famously from the series American Horror Story. I believe the 3rd season, as well as the 4th season, and whatever other season.
She's like the bitchy witch.
Yeah, basically, and then she moved on to...
That wants to be Mother Superior or
She moved on to Ryan Murphy's other series, Scream Queens, which Ryan Murphy, if you don't know, he created horror comedy. That's what he claims. So...
Yeah. He came up with that genre.
If you see, and he's quoted as that. So if you see Ryan Murphy, you can know that nobody has ever created horror / comedy.
It never existed before him.
Never existed until he did.
Emma Roberts was in Freak Show, and she was actually like not a bitch in that one, right?
Yeah, she was nice, but like literally with her. Did you watch that? You didn't watch Freak Show, right?
I watched Freak Show. I didn't watch those.
I got it just for obviously for spoilers for Freak Show, just for this one line. Never have I seen somebody get rid of a character so quick for no reason than her character in that show. She was literally like, I think it was Doogie Howser, and he was like, I need to saw a woman in half. And she goes, I'll do it, and then they cut her in half, and that's the end of her character. She had nothing else. That was it, her end of her character. She was there, I think, to fulfill an arc with her boyfriend, Evan Peter, her fiance at the time.
They
fuck it up. American Horror Story fucks it up. They almost had it this last season with the hotel, but they always fuck it up. They'll fuck it up this year too.
It didn't hold me, and I knew they would fuck it up. I don't even care.
Anyway, Emma Roberts, as anybody knows, she was dating Evan Peters, who plays Quicksilver in the X-Men franchise, and she slapped the shit out of him. That's pretty funny. I was gonna do a whole thing about talking about domestic violence when women do it towards men. But I don't know if I was going to get too personal, and if somebody I had dated was going to listen to this and get offended by what happened to me, because it's happened to me. Has that ever happened to you?
No, actually.
I mean, it's not serious. I haven't been through serious domestic violence where a girl, constantly beat me up, but I've had plenty of girls slap me, and I guess...
If I was a girl, I'd slap you.
Well, that's true. But, that's also sometimes my fetish.
You're a bad boy, Alex.
So this film, the reason why I saw the trailer for this film, I will say the movie lived up to my expectations, though not totally, because the trailer
have had really low expectations.
No. Let me say this first. Okay. The trailer for this film is it's ominous, and it looks very art housey, and it looks very atmospheric, and I think it covers those three things pretty well for this film. Here's the thing with this movie. This movie is a fantastic cinematography reel for a guy who wants to show what he can shoot on film. It's one of the most good-looking films I've ever seen. It's a beautiful-looking film, the way it's shot, the way it's directed. As a film itself, does not completely make the grade.
Honestly, I don't even know what fucking happened.
Here's
I
the
just watched it, and I still couldn't tell you what happened.
I saw the film over 3 days, so I was able to digest it and watch it. Also, what's funny is
couldn't watch it. You couldn't watch it.
No. I was watching it in half-hour intervals because I've had a busy week this week, and unfortunately, 2 halves of this I saw at the gym on my smartphone. So there was like I wasn't watching it properly. Here's the thing: I enjoyed this movie, and then I was like, Danny's not going to enjoy this movie because he's smart. But also, like out of you and I being big art house horror,
I love art house. This was just like, I don't know. It was all art house and no like
no substance
or like sense. Yeah,
no,
like,
I hear what
art house
you're saying.
Is great when it makes sense to something.
And the thing is, I understand that, because well, let's get into the story, if there is one. Okay, so this film starts out, let's say who's in this film first. Oh, there's a girl named Kat, played by Kiernan Shipka, and I was like, how do I know this girl? Like, what do I seen her from? And then I realized she was from Mad Men. She plays the daughter. I never watched Mad Men. I tried to watch it, and I was like, this show ain't for me.
Okay.
Although people might be going, oh, you have no class. You don't like good general, television series. I like.
Well, anybody that talks with that voice would love this movie because it's meant for them.
True. I do like Better Call Saul, so I think that's pretty highbrow entertainment. And anyway, so Kat is this girl. At the very beginning of the film, we see her on the bed. This is a slow-moving film. The movie's an hour and 29 minutes. But it felt
like it was like 3 hours.
It feels like it meanders sometimes. And I gotta say, so Kiernan Shipka's character, Kat, is this girl we see at the beginning. She's sleeping. Listen, I'm not bullshitting when I'm saying this is an art house film. I mean, I don't think it's not. Technically, it's not an art house film. It's probably more of a sort of a weird. And I know I'm going to offend you. And I'm going to offend everybody that's listening to here. I sort of got the same vibe for The Shining. And I'm not saying, okay, no, hold on. And I'm not saying it's like The Shining. I'm not saying it's as good as The Shining. I'm saying the movie itself has a really good atmosphere of weird horror to it. To me, terror.
But this is the difference. The atmosphere used in The Shining means something,
right? And it leads to something in the end, right? And it leads. That's why I'm saying it's not the same thing. It doesn't have. It has it doesn't even have a beginning. It sort of has a middle, and it doesn't lead up to anything.
From the first scene in this, where she's talking, where the girl Kat is talking with the
Mr. Blackcoat, right?
Or whatever. Yeah.
the headmaster.
With the headmaster. As soon as they start talking, and he's like, "Why are you smiling?" and she's like, "Did I smile? Oh." Like, I'm like, okay, this is going to be a really
that's why I knew it was going to reference that.
Movie.
Here's the thing.
I was getting angry throughout the whole thing.
I will say this: Kiernan Shipka playing Kat, to me, might be the greatest weirdo I've ever seen in a film of all time. Like, and here's the thing with this movie: there's like, I was watching these actors in this film, and I was like, man, they paid these people a lot of money to not say anything. Like, a lot of these people were just emoting with their faces. And everybody in here was doing a great acting job, I think. The girl playing Kat, I think, is fucking great as a creep. I thought she was fucking awesome as a creep. She's a creep. Like, I've never been more unsettled by somebody in a film than her.
She's a creep, but she's the same exact character as Joan. I mean, I don't.
I mean, we'll get into that. Obviously, it's spoilering this film. Yeah, and I don't understand. I guess yes, because okay, so let's go into the film. The movie starts out with Kat waking up she's in some sort of dream state, or she wakes up and there's a guy with a black coat who talks to her off screen, or you see him walking in and talking to her. The movie was originally called February. I assume they changed the name to The Blackcoat's Daughter because February wouldn't sell, and it doesn't sound like a horror film name, I guess.
That's a month, right?
I think so, and I think how do you spell it? Feb, and it's just this is a racist fucking movie. They used the Black History Month to do all this white devil shit. Very racist film, racist. So
how dare they?
So her character is this girl, and it's very vague if it's a dream in the beginning or what's going on. There's like a totaled car that's in the winter snow and stuff like that, and she ends up going. There's an all-girls school, and the all-girls school, I guess, in this section of February, I forget. I've never been to an all-girls school. About going.
I was in an all-girls school.
You take a week off, or for vacation. I assume this is a school where they actually stay and they live in the school. They have.
I guess it's like a boarding.
Right, all-girl boarding school, and she is just an unsettling person. This cat girl. And she is talking to the headmaster, and for some reason it seems like she has a weird infatuation with the headmaster, because he's basically like, she's like, can I stay here with you? And he goes, no, I don't think so. And I'm putting an Irish accent to a guy who didn't have an Irish accent in the film, because he's Catholic or Christian. I think he's Catholic. And she's unsettling. There's another girl played by Lucy Boynton, playing Rose. Rose, a very fetching young lass, and she is she might come off as a sort of a snide bitch, but I don't think she is. I think she sort of has a lot of.
I think
stuff
she's
on her
a
mind.
regular person in a weird place.
Yeah, she's a senior, and Kat is a junior, and a freshman, and that's why they sort of look so different. And plus, it's two separate things. Kat's parents aren't coming to pick her up for vacation, because I assume she killed them. And Rose told her parents to come on Friday because she wanted to spend another day with her boyfriend to get a...
Yeah, but when did she kill them?
I think she killed them before she went off to school. I think that's what happened. There was a theory that a guy on the IMDb page spoke about that I thought was like, okay, that makes sense to this. This film makes sense now, because it was weird when I was beginning to watch the film.
I thought they died in a car accident. That was the car.
That
accident.
Could be it. That could be it. If she had something to do with it, who knows? But I mean, something is going on. We'll talk about it. I remember watching the beginning of this film, and I was watching and looking at how pretty it was. This is like 10 minutes, 15 minutes into the film. This isn't like after I saw it. But I was like, I wonder how come, this film I think is going to be straight to DVD or straight to streaming. And I was like, how did they get to make this film when, so many films are more about, like, as an American film. This is a Canadian co-production. But I was like, how does a film like this get made and released when everything is sort of mostly sequels or superhero films? And I'm watching, I was like, this seems more of, a meditative film. You got to sit down and watch it and, I guess gain some sort of deeper meaning from it if you can. Then by the end of the film, I was like, oh, okay, I see why they released it straight to streaming, because it's sort of like, if people release this in theaters, they'd be like, what the fuck is going on? And Kat and Rose's, since they're not, Rose is pregnant. She's about 4 days pregnant. She just found out from her boyfriend. She thinks, I think midway through the film, she takes another urine test and finds out she's not pregnant. That's why she's happy, because we see her in the toilet taking another piss test.
Maybe
anyway,
I thought she was happy because she was looking at her poop.
Oh, that's good too. Well, who doesn't? So the headmaster tells Rose, you got to watch over Kat, and Kat's like, and Rose is like, I don't want to do this. And Kat is like completely like, she seems to be obsessive with people in this film. And it just has this weird, unsettling feeling to it. And we cut to another storyline in this film. There's 3 storylines in this film. Obviously, there are only one storyline, but we don't find out because it's doing some sort of a lazy Pulp Fiction on us, which I like. I
didn't even understand how the 2 storylines were
converged,
made sense together.
They did. Here's where it goes. I'm just gonna go.
I'm sorry, I'm useless in this one because I did not understand this movie.
So the second storyline is Joan, who's played by Emma Roberts, and obviously she's escaped from some mental asylum. And she's getting flashbacks of doctors, faceless doctors going over her, and then there's people, her escaping a room or whatever, and she is like just trudging in the middle of this winter, and she gets picked up by a couple, and it's an unsettling.
Dexter's dad, and also
Lauren Holly from Dumb and Dumber, Jim Carrey's old fuck buddy. You wonder, do you think Jim Carrey made faces while he had sex with her, or he was like a real passionate guy?
Do you think that was his wife, his ex-wife, the redhead?
No, he dated her after I think he divorced his wife. Jim Carrey was butt fucking her. He was like, "Whoa!" It was like, somebody stop me! Haha, you get that? Because
he had like his the mask on, like
on
his
penis,
was green and shit.
He has the mask on his penis, and he has the Riddler hair on. Anyway, so this storyline has James Remar as Bill, him and his wife, like we just said, played by Lauren Holly. They're sort of like this ghost couple. They're just pick her up. He stops by to pick her up, and he's like checking on her. He sees if she's okay. She just is as weird as Kat is, and we'll figure that out. Goes back to the storyline of
weird.
Goes back to the storyline of Kat and Rose. Kat and Rose are there's just a gulf of popularity between them because Kat is certainly a weirdo. She's playing piano on stage. She's looking at Rose through the darkness during that big recital. She's a nice voice. I'm being very generous with explaining this film. So
and then I mean everything you're saying I understood.
Okay, we're cutting back.
How it's a movie.
Now we're cutting. It's not a very well put together movie, but I think it's a beautiful looking movie. But we cut back to Joan and her dealing with Bill and his wife, and we find out that he shows a photo of his daughter who has died 9 years ago, who is Rose. But it was a little weird because
that was okay.
Which is a little weird because though the wife is like, we have a daughter. She doesn't talk in past tense. So I was like, is she alive? Is she dead? And I thought, that's like pretty neat. We're looking 9 years into the future from what we saw about 10 minutes in the past. A couple minutes ago. So what I gathered is that obviously.
Oh, is that was supposed to be a different time period?
It is. It's 9 years after. They say that in the film. He goes, 9 years ago, our daughter got killed. So he says to her in the diner, he says, she would have looked like you at your age or some shit like that. So it's 9 years have passed. I don't know how the actress Kiernan Shipka turns into Emma Roberts in 9 years. And I don't know how the parents can't really recognize this girl. Obviously, they would know what the girl looked like that slaughtered her daughter and two women. I don't understand how Kat has a pretty small nose, and 9 years later she has Emma Roberts'
So is
nose.
this like a fact? That's supposed to be what happened?
Yes. No, that's what it is. Because what happened? This is what it is, Danny.
I didn't understand it. Now that you're explaining that, that's actually kind of cool.
So let me let me explain. So let me explain in the chronology. Kat kills those two nuns. One of them looked like she had like heavy plastic surgery or something. I don't know what was up with that. It's pretty intense.
That was
scene.
before she gave herself over to God.
Right. There's a pretty intense scene where Rose is walking around in the school at night and she sees Kat doing some sort of like, weird like worshipping thing inside of the boiler room, whatever. That comes into play. Kat I guess spurned by the two nuns who there's a rumor that Rose says that they're lesbians and that they're worshiping dark forces
and they have no hair and all this shit.
Right, that they're completely shaved. Kat kills Rose in a pretty graphic. I mean, it's pretty graphic. The death scenes. I mean, it's really freaky. I had to watch the movie in 3 times because I was kind of getting spooked in the middle of the night. And I'm not really naturally spooked. I just felt that the movie doesn't have a natural soundtrack to it. It's more for sort of like audio.
Ambient?
What's that?
Ambient.
Yeah, ambient score. So it's just like more like sounds and shit like that. So anyway, Kat kills the two nuns and she also kills Rose. She decapitates her, and I'm also jumping into the third story, which explains Kat, which is the last half of the film. Well, actually, we go back to Joan at the last part. But anyway, so Kat she decapitates Rose, and she goes into the boiler room, offering Rose's head to whatever she's
Freddy
worshiping. Yeah, it's him. He goes, I was going to say what a rush. That's the wrong fucking character. He goes, now I'm playing with power. Oh, no, that was a horrible voice. So Kat decapitates her. A cop comes up to her. A cop and the headmaster have seen. They came rushing to the school, so I assume they had found Kat's parents dead. And that's why, she knew by the phone. She got a phone call earlier, and she had told Rose, oh, they're dead. So I assume that's what happened. They came to go tell her that her parents were dead. Okay. They walk in on the dead nuns, or with the dead sisters, or with dead ladies, whatever they are. The cop goes downstairs and he sees he sees Kat holding Rose's head, and he warns her, listen, I swear to God, I'm going to shoot the shit out of you. He shoots her. We can see that in the second storyline when Joan, who was actually Catherine, is in the bathroom, and you see she has buckshot wounds on her arms, and she's having a flashback of a cop shooting at her. So what we see is the headmaster, I believe it was the headmaster, or a priest came in to exorcise her. And I swear they ripped the scene right out of the fucking Exorcist when she's looking in the corner of the thing. Instead of, the statue, it was like some sort of weird horned creature. That I'm sure that they got the suit out of some like Halloween costume store, which is fine.
So
I like the way it looked.
If he exorcised her, then how come she's still bad?
Here,
in the future?
okay, here it is. Here it is. Here's what I read off the IMDb, which made sense. This guy, I'm going to give the guy credit for, I pretty much understood what was going on with the film, but this guy made a good. Okay, here it goes. Trumbull Kyle. I thought I read another K in that name, which would have been a racist epithet. Trumbull Kyle, he says, yes, she was upset the demon didn't come back to her. When she was a little girl, she was totally lonely, and it made her a really easy target for possession. The demon filled her with a sense of fulfillment, which rendered her whole finally. Okay, maybe I read the wrong guy. Anyway, the gist of what the other guy said, I don't think it was this guy that I read.
How does he know that?
Okay, he's full of shit. Maybe he's not. But this is the gist that I got, that the girl probably was somebody who was yearning for affection and talking to others, which is what we see with her talking to the headmaster, talking to Rose. Rose is like, you smell pretty. So she seems like an obviously lonely person, and that ghost creature, whatever was possessing her, was like her only friend. And her parents have died, and that, I guess that gave her a connection to it, and that's why she was worshiping it. When the priest exorcised this monster from her, she was obviously locked up for 9 years or so. She gets let out, and she
escapes.
Right. She finds it ironic that she runs into the parents of the girl she killed, and I do like that acting when she goes to the bathroom and she starts laughing about it.
Right.
Because it's almost like, oh shit, look at my luck, I got this again. I thought that was really good acting from Emma Roberts. So what she does, I think, is she kills the parents as an offering to bring the demon back, but the demon didn't. So she's still alone, and that's why she's crying at the end of the film. That's what the guy in IMDb said, and I was like, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. But it wasn't handled good because I didn't get it.
Yeah,
that way,
as you're saying all this, I understand. Okay, that actually, it sounds cool when it's explained in this way.
Yeah, but it's done
for some reason. My brain could not register it during this fucking movie. Like, I usually have no problem with like artsy fartsy movies, but I just was not able to it couldn't hold my attention long enough for me to understand what was happening.
Yeah, it was done really poorly the way that the story was told. But I still liked it, so I'm sort of guilty in the sense that I still enjoyed the film, and I liked the feeling of it. But don't come to me saying, I gave you a great recommendation for this film, because, I'm
come
sort
on
of
him. If he says it, come on him.
I'm sort of like, I'm into this weird shit. Although not all of it, obviously. Like, we had a problem with when.
Yeah, but Evil Dead Trap 2. To this day, is one of my favorite movies, and that is a really weird, hard to understand movie.
And that one is still worse. That's totally incomprehensible compared to this. I don't know if this guy's correct,
but for some reason I can comprehend it. I can't comprehend this. I don't know what the difference is, and that's also with subtitles too. And I still understand it better, and I understand this. And this, I don't know why.
Also, IMDb from Helen Roscoe. From what I've seen, there's two ways this could have ended. The sacrifice she made by killing the parents didn't work and the demon didn't return, or she figured out she was imagining it. That's what she says. But I think Trumbull Kyle was right with that whole, she was so lonely and she couldn't get that thing back in her life that I guess was, her constant friend. So, it's not, watching the film, maybe hopefully us talking about this, because I like when we actually discuss shit, like when we saw The Wailing and we were talking about it. Obviously a lot of people must have liked that episode.
The Wailing was awesome.
Yeah, that's a great film, and that's a pretty confusing one as well. But
once I learned about a little bit about the symbolism that they were using, because some of that stuff you kind of either have to know what it represents or you're not. So are you
gonna rush to watch this movie again to see it play out the right way?
I might actually rewatch it now that I kind of have more of an idea, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I no,
So,
I understand. It's just that I just love aesthetically. It's totally my thing. This film, but
yeah, no, it's really cool looking.
story and sound wise, the way sound plays out and the acting, everything is so fucking good. But I can see, people watching this and going, "What the
It's just
fuck
so
is this about?"
pretentious. It's so pretentious.
And the thing is, I don't feel it's as pretentious as other films that we've seen, but I understand why it is pretentious. Because it's you can tell the director was like, "Oh, they'll get it. They'll understand if they are worthy of this movie." You know what I mean? But I didn't take
Yeah.
it that badly. But you can totally see like going, "Oh, that's what this movie is supposed to mean," when you don't clearly spell it out, which is fine. I'm fine with movies not spelling out that. I'm fine with this movie not spelling it out. But I can completely see people going, "What the fuck?" watching this. Anyway, what is the main negative parts for you with this movie?
That it makes no fucking sense.
Only
and
after.
it's like also, yeah, no, it made no sense until I had to have someone like spell it out for me, like I'm
Right.
an idiot. And then also, it's like it takes itself so fucking seriously. Like I could tell, like there's no humor in this movie at all. Like
No,
fucking,
there's not.
Ugh, blah.
But it's almost like that. Oh, well, I hate to bring it up again. Like The Exorcist didn't take itself too seriously. Maybe this guy thought he was making his own Exorcist, because obviously that fucking reference right there to The Exorcist was really
Well, this
blatant.
is nowhere close.
Yeah,
to The
no,
Exorcist.
there's nowhere near that one. But you can tell he was cribbing from that film. I swear there was two references. I forget what the other one was. But yeah, was there anything positive that you took out of this film?
Yeah, it looked really pretty.
It's a very pretty film, and its acting is really good.
And the score was good. I agree with you.
Yeah. So what rating would you give this film?
Ugh. I have to give it like a 5 or like a 6 maybe for having good looking. I'll give it a 6. 6 out of 10. Vomiting white vomit all over a table, and then saying you're gonna vomit so somebody will pull over so you don't get in a car accident as you stab them to death.
Yeah, what really fucks this film up is the non-ending, and that you're supposed to gather some sort of ending towards this film, but it doesn't. I'd give this film a 7 out of 10. I would have given it higher, but talking about it more, I realize there's a lot of faults with the film that bring down points a lot. But it's incredible. I would say just watch the film just visually, and if you want to need explanation, do it. It's worth. I think it's worth the time to watch it.
Yeah, I would say
It's
watch
only an
it
hour
for the
and like
visual.
It's like an hour and 29 minutes, so it's not like completely waste of time. If you watch it at night, I think you'd certainly feel weirdness watching it, which I think is a good thing about the film. So I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Girls telling each other, or one girl telling the other that she smells pretty. With that, Danny, what's the final word?
Quarter-filled bottle of water.
The horror deconstruction.